Okay. All right, so we'll start with Coach Bradley, and then we'll just move it right on down the line. When somebody's done, just simply, if you would, just pass it on to the next person, and we'll go from there. So, anytime? All right. All right, so a little more officially, welcome everyone to Brush High School. Some of you have been here before and some new faces, so that's great that we keep mixing the order a little bit. I appreciate you coming on out here. Tonight we are here for a very exciting event. This is, what is it, maybe Coach, our fourth or fifth attempt at panels. So this is the 2022-23 Ladies Basketball Panel of Experts and our coaching staff. So what we'd like to do is just kind of give everybody, we're going to send this out via live stream. We'd like to give everyone a chance to kind of know what's going on with your teams, what you see coming up for the upcoming season. As we segue from the fall sports season into winter, it's upon us. This Saturday we get going right here at Brush High School with 7 half games, scrimmages basically, and most of your teams will all be represented, so we are really looking forward to that, and we appreciate you coming on out. So I thought what we would do is, Coach Bradley, if you would start, but I'm essentially asking the same question of everybody, which is, if you could give us a little sense of how your team projects at this point. I know it's early. I know for some of you, maybe this will be a first scrimmage on Saturday. Maybe some of you have had one already. But if you can kind of tell us what you see for your team this year, and then maybe add in a little bit such as, have you lost some significant players? Are you looking at somebody to come in and take the lead and make this their team, so to speak? Anything like that. And then maybe also, if you think about it, tell us what kind of an offense and what kind of a defense you like to run.
All right, this is my first year at Orange High School, so the girls are getting to know me, I'm getting to know them. We're pretty young, a lot of teaching, we're growing. As of right now, as the season progresses, I see a lot of growth going on. I have seen it since this summer, so I'm impressed. I think that in the next upcoming years, I think they will be where I want them to be. Coming in from, I got some 8th graders coming in that are going to be a significant help. I do have some young players right now that are very mature. You'll see a couple of them this Saturday. They just, getting to know my style, and sure. I think they will make some big strides as the year goes on.
Okay, and I forgot to say too, if you would just give us a brief introduction, who you are, your school, and maybe how many years you've been at that school, okay?
Okay. Oh, I did say
Coach,
it was my first year.
You're good. Coach Burke.
Coach Melvin Burke Sr. I returned to Lutheran East last year after being there in 2007, 8, 9, and 10. Our team this year is, we don't have a lot of size. I have one young lady that's a 6'2" sophomore, but she's getting better. Got a little college interest because of her development. My next post player is about 5'11", and I got two wings and the rest are guards. So it's going to be a lot of pressing, a lot of trapping, a lot of running, because we got to coach the team I have, not the team I want.
Sure.
So they're united, and the good thing is I've been lucky because returning there, some of the girls that played for me in my AAU program since they were in the 3rd or 4th grade are still there. So we have a good relationship to get off with an early start. I do know that we got a pretty rough schedule, but I did want that. I want the girls to play hard, which they do as of right now. So we're looking forward to a fast-paced season and some unity and some sharing as far as passing and playing defense.
Tremendous. Okay. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. And now Coach McGill, right? Mm-hmm. Let us know what we're doing down at Firestone.
Well, good evening. Of course, my name is Coach McGill. I'm the girls' head basketball coach at Firestone.
This is my second tour at Firestone. This will be my 20th season there. We're young. I'm starting over. When I left the program, I left it in good shape. When I came back, we had 6 total girls playing. So, when you start over a second time, it's not easy. But we do have a nice group of young girls that are working hard, and we'll see what the season comes up with. I mean, I'm young, but I do have some experience. So we only have 2 seniors returning, but we should be okay.
Coach Spivey of Shaw, what are you finding so far this early in the season?
Well, hello everyone. Coach Spivey from Shaw. I'm in my first year of high school girls basketball coaching. So I'm in a situation of rebuilding. I came into a little turmoil, trying to straighten some things out, but we're building every day, getting better every day. We're going to be young. We're going to take a lot of bumps and bruises as we go on, but I see a bright future. I have a core of about 5 sophomores. If they stick together, we'll be all right their senior year.
Okay. Welcome aboard. And now is a familiar face here. You've been at several of our panels, Coach, and how are things looking over there at North this year?
I think I've been at all of them, actually. Coach Paul Force, Eastlake North High School. It's my 15th year at Eastlake North and 16th year coaching varsity girls. We have 4 seniors. We have Maya Latham, we have Sydney Colby, Kaylee Minch, and Sydney Helm. Most of them got some varsity experience last year. 2 of them started in Sydney Helm and Kaylee Minch. We have 4 juniors, a couple sophomores, and 1 freshman. We're excited, but we got a lot to learn, a lot of improving that needs to happen from our first scrimmage to 3 weeks from now when we open up. We pride ourselves in being versatile, being able to play in the half court, the full court. However, other teams want to play. We don't want to be pigeonholed into one style. So just basketball IQ wise and execution of what we want to do on offense, defense. I would say we tend to do a lot of things offensively, especially, which makes us difficult to prepare for at times. I think our biggest hole right now is the leadership. We lost 5 seniors that were excellent leaders, a little bit naturally. Some girls pick up leadership more naturally. Our seniors now work super hard and they're great kids. I think they could develop some leadership skills, and that's on me as a coach and our staff is, leadership isn't something, you don't just say, hey, you're a captain, and all of a sudden that kid's a great leader. Just like we got to teach basketball, we got to teach leadership, and help them develop as people and leaders. So that's something that we're tasked with this preseason. But we're excited to play, as long as they play hard, they love each other. There's a huge difference between playing with 4 other girls and playing for, 4 other girls. So we try to preach, we want to play for each other, not with each other, and that's something that, we gotta commit to, and we gotta talk about every day, because when they go home, they're the most important girl on the team to mom and dad, and when we're in the gym, it's about we, it's not about me. So that's something we've been about for 15 years, and we're going to continue to be about. So I'm excited to see what unfolds. We got some length, no like 6'6" or 6'2" girls or anything like that, but we got some 5'9", 5'10" girls that can play inside and out, and that's exciting when you have that. So we're excited for this weekend. It should be a nice event. I feel grateful to be here. Appreciate all the time that you guys put in promoting the girls basketball game in Northeast Ohio.
Happy to do so.
Yeah.
Coach Mallett, how's it looking over there at Cleveland Central Catholic this year?
I'm Coach Mallett. This is year 10 at Central Catholic. Year 3 on the girls' side. I've coached boys my 19 years I've been coaching. This year we are extremely young. We have no seniors in the program. We have 1 junior. The rest of my team is sophomores and freshmen. We're young, we're small. We've got a few girls who've never played, so couple that with a rough schedule, we're looking at some bumps and bruises, but I look at this year as our opportunity to create a culture. Through the COVID years, I don't know if anybody else's program got hit as hard as ours, but we've literally played I think, 18 games in the last 2 years. So this will be our first full season. So we're excited to get going. We got some young kids with promise. It's just a matter of, putting it together.
Okay. Well, and I have to say, I know this man a little bit right here. Here's a gentleman I want to put some kudos out to for putting together this beautiful event that now we've been doing 4, 5, 6 years, and thank you for that. Your passion and love for the game is legendary around here. However, I think you might be able to say, too, that you're a little bit on the young side as
Absolutely.
well, correct?
Yep, absolutely. So I'm Coach Damaris Winters, head coach of Brush Lady Arcs basketball. It's my 7th year, going into my 7th year here, and another fun year for us. But first of all, before I get into that, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank everyone for participating in the preview. Whoever will be there on Saturday, and thank you all for the support. This is not just a girls panel. We got a couple boys coaches here as well. My good friend and old teammate Will Brand, and then of course Chet Mason, who's our boys coach. Who I learned, both of those guys I learned a lot of basketball from. So yeah, and again, thank you guys, and thank you, Rick, because you, Miss Marshall, everybody, Charbel, everyone who helps us do this, because I definitely can't do it myself at all, right? So yeah, we're young, man. I feel like I said this before, like 4 or 5 years ago, and it turned out pretty good for us the last 3 years. So we coming off like 3 18, 19 win seasons in a row, a couple of semi-district finals where Paul beat me up in the district finals 2 years ago and beat us, and 2 district semis the last 2 years we couldn't quite get past with those kids. So we lost six seniors last year, 3 of which is playing Division I right now. First person, the News Herald Player of the Year last year was Taylor Johnson Matthews, who will be starting for Wright State this year. Asia Nicholson, who will be coming off the bench for Alabama A&M. She's like the 6th man right now. And Danae Frazier, who's definitely down there with her. She's down there at Alabama A&M with Asia. Also have 2 JUCO girls, Morgan Parker and Maya James. Maya James played for Lakeland, and Morgan Parker plays for I forgot who Morgan plays for.
It's slipping me at the moment.
Yeah, it's here. What's Brian Stratton? I'm sorry, Brian Stratton. I'm sorry, right here. So she just came to open gym. So yeah, Brian Stratton. So we lost some good players. That's what I was trying to get to. So 3 D1 players, 2 JUCO players who are playing on the next level right now. So of course I don't like to say starting over. It's a reload for us. We got some talent. We do have talent. Starting with our leader, Brooklyn Vickers, who's coming to this off season with a great attitude, right? Great attitude. She's a soccer player, so she came in shape. She's playing good ball. We've had 3 scrimmages, and she's definitely led us in every way possible. The only kid that has that kind of championship experience, right? So I would say the second person that will be looking to lead us is Rihanna Williams, who's been coming off the bench for the last couple of years behind all those good guards that we sent off, right? So they're both point guards. We'll play a 2-point guard system. Both of those can both take you off the bounce. They're both really quick. Both have really good handle. They can get to the basket. I told them they need to get some all the pads that you put up under your knee pads. They need knee pads. They need ankle braces. They need everything. Body armor. Yeah, they need body armor because they can get past the first person. But when they get in there with those bigs, they shoot a lot of those 2. I have them shooting a lot of free throws at the end of practice, maybe about 60, 70 apiece. They've been shooting like 25, 30, but we're going to get it up to like 60 or 70 because they're going to go to the line a lot. They can get past the first person and they can get to the bucket, so they're going to get fouled. We have Tasia Mims, who's a 6'6" junior who just started playing basketball last year. 6'6" is what it is, right? So she's going to be she's not where she is going to be right now, but she has gotten much better, right? With the help of Coach Mason, myself working with her, and not only us working with her, but her showing the passion and coming in on workouts and staying after practice and all these different things for the last 6 or 7 months, right? She's really improved. So she's going to be a factor. 6'6" is going to be, she's going to be, if we call her 6, she's going to be a factor, right? So with those 2 guards and that big, I think we're going to be okay. We have a 6'2" freshman, Jacqueline Brown, and then some others that was on the team before that didn't quite get a lot of playing time because of all those other girls that were good, right? So they were good. So you got Santaya Lanton, who's a captain along with Rihanna and Brooklyn. And then you have Amari Hightower, who will play that other guard, alongside those other two guards. She's really fast. She plays good defense. All we're asking her to do is run the floor, make a layup, hit the open shot, play some D, right? So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. I got to coach a little bit. I have to coach a little different this year, right? So before I could call out something in Taylor and Asia, and they all knew what it was, right? Now I'm calling it out, and everybody's looking around because they haven't been here for the last 4 or 5, 3 or 4 years like those other kids. So it's a challenge for me, which is good. That's a great challenge. It makes me a better coach, right? But every single one of those kids, we have 14 on varsity. Every single one of those kids want to be here. They want to learn. They're open to learn. They're working hard, and I'm very, very surprised at the defense that we played in our scrimmages. They played very, very good defense, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm excited about the season. Again, it's a challenge for me because we are young, right? But that's a good thing because we were young like 3 or 4 years ago, and we did pretty good all up until now. So I think we're going to be the same. It's just a reload, and I think we'll be okay.
So before we hear from this next coach, it's a catch-22. As I get older, I'm losing a little bit of my faculties here. I can make out Mr. Will Brand over here, who's been a legend at Brush High School, but luckily I can't see the school on the front of his sweatshirt there, because I might break out in hives or something like that. No, just kidding. Welcome, Mr. Brand. Thanks for coming on out. I would give you the open floor. Now, you coach the Mayfield men's team.
Yes.
But if you want to even make any comments, about the ladies' game and what you've seen over the years, even going back to when you were a player and how things have changed over time.
Yeah, I'm Will Brand, coach basketball at Mayfield High School, going to year number 3. The biggest, first of all, thank you for inviting me. This place looks amazing. I haven't seen this place since '98, and it was actually like books in here. So it's like no books in the library. It's weird to me, but no, like the biggest thing that I've seen with the girls basketball, and I know Coach Mel Burton since I was in high school, just playing down at the Lonnie Burton gym, and just the amount of dedication that coaches are putting into these girls basketball now.
Yep.
Normally you will always see that, especially on the men's side. But now you're starting to see ex-players and people who did great things at the men's level. They're doing these with the girls now, and they're starting to bring that importance and that swagger and that intensity that you normally saw in boys basketball. Now you're starting to see in girls basketball. So that's like kind of the biggest things that I'm starting to see. The biggest changes are. It's funny watching Damaris coach because if you ever watched him coach, like, you would thought that he was in the game. And I'm like, man, you're not in the game, man. You know, like he's talking to everybody. Anybody who wants to smoke, he's talking to them. But that's what the girls basketball kind of needed. They were always missing that a little bit to me. So, it's good to see that part. And I'm just loving watching high school basketball again, It was a moment where I didn't want to coach anymore. I just kind of want to just be a spectator and just watch everybody else do it. So, but I'm back in it. I love it. Had a good season last year. We lost 6 seniors. So, but we have 6 seniors this year, which is kind of strange. But we're inexperienced. We really had one guy that's coming back who had experience last year, and then we got a couple guys that played JV, a couple guys that sat the bench, and then we got 2 totally new guys who never played due to various reasons from their freshman, sophomore year. So they had about a year or 2 off. But they're good enough, but, they just got a lot of learning to do and how I like to do things with our basketball team right now. So, this year is going to be a lot of teaching, a lot of learning. We can shoot the ball. The good thing about this team this year is we got a lot of guys that they're our friends. They're friends. And so when we go through those rough times, I think, we won't have lows, but, we might be able to dig ourselves out a little bit quicker. So hopefully, we're competitive. We can still make some noise in the city and, do our thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Coach Donaldson, welcome to the panel. I think the first time, right?
Yes, sir. It's my first.
So we welcome you here. And Coach Brand, thank you for coming on back to your alma mater. Give us a little insight into what you're seeing over at Trinity and the things that you might be looking to run offensively, defensively, based on your skilled players.
Right. Coach Ron Donaldson, Jr., my first year at Trinity. I came from coaching tree from Gene and Coach Burke, so this is my first opportunity to be a head coach. So it's definitely a privilege to have an opportunity because the girls' game is growing. And I have a real young team. We have one senior who decided to play. She's coming over from Abby. She's coming over from volleyball, so she's decided to play. So we have one senior. Everybody else is young. You're either a freshman, sophomore, and we have like two juniors. So it's a learning process. So first they have to learn me, my system, what my expectations are. And it's difficult because it's a transition from the old coach to the new coach. So just getting them to trust me, for them to understand that I'm there for them. First of all, off the court, I'm going to treat them like I do my own daughter. You know what I mean? So just getting them to trust me and then implementing our system. We want to play fast. We want to play smart. We want to be up in your face. We want to play very hard-nosed defense. So just instilling kind of how I played, I'm trying to instill that in them. To play with confidence. We're going to make mistakes, and that's part of the game. You're going to miss layups, but are you going to hustle back on defense? Are you going to play the next play, help your teammates up? So just kind of getting them to understand the family aspect of basketball and the sisterhood that they need to have to be successful. Okay. So we're very excited about the season. We scrimmaged Lutheran East, and that was a great test. I wanted to see what kind of team I had, and they responded very well. So it was a very physical game, and I'm just proud of their efforts.
Okay. Also new to the panel from down in Alliance, Coach Smith and Coach Sampson, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you for coming on up. I know it wasn't just right around the corner for you.
Right,
but
right.
we love that you are participating in this. We love to see some new faces, some new teams. So
Yes.
give us a little look on how you feel this coming year might go.
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for having us. Coach Winters and I, we ran into each other during the summer league. Love the talent that he has on his team, along with some others there. Springfield, I think there's an Orange. There's a couple of teams, and that's why we don't have a problem with travel. We're traveling to where the competition is. Luckily, Mr. Winters Coach Winters reached out to me, and that's one of the best things that could have happened with our program. My fourth year, so we're really just now learning my system, my style of play. We're experienced, but we're somewhat young. I only have one senior. That senior's been with me since the beginning, my first day there. And I have a handful of juniors who will be a vital part to our program. They played a lot of games together, and we're sort of excited to see where this season takes us. I didn't mention it before, but we were sort of on a rebuilding process. Not a lot of numbers. Both teams combined, I think we had nine players. We're up to 13 for varsity now. So we're pushing forward. Looking forward to that type of success of making it to districts at that level. That's basically what everyone works for. You get to that next level, and I'm really proud of the work that our girls have put in thus far from this summer up until this point. Like I said, we're very experienced, a lot of time together. My starting five, and I have to mention this, my starting five was all conference honor roll, which means they put student first in that athlete, and that's what I preach in our program. You're a student athlete, student first, and with those girls maintaining the grades that I think all of them maintain a 3.5 or higher. One maintained a 4.0, so very impressed with that, and that sort of goes along with them working off the court as well on the court, and I'm very excited with this group to see what transpired. Like I said, I have one senior, Miana Ford, very, very vocal. She's vocal. She's our vocal leader. Tough as nails on defense, and I think that's important for our style of play. She's our starting point at defense, so we sort of feed off of her. Also have a handful of juniors. They're returning leading scorers, rebounders. Jayla Calick is one. Marze Gantz is another very dynamic guard that can score in a number of ways. Ella Smith, Kellen Palalalu is my big. She's coming a long way, Her freshman year wasn't very quick in the post or whatnot. Now she's able to move. And the improvement is so amazing with these girls because they bought into the system. And like I said, my 4th year, they're really used to my system now. And I think that we will have a very successful season because of that moving forward.
Fantastic. I'm going to take a leap here. Coach White, right, from Euclid?
No, Richmond Heights.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was Euclid. Okay, but I knew Coach White. All
Yes.
right. So your daughter Kayla, of course, used to play here.
Yes, she did.
Did a great job for us, and we appreciate you coming back. I know this is not your first panel here.
No.
So thanks for sharing your perspectives and expertise, and would like to know a little bit about what you're seeing from your team this year. I know it's early, but
Yeah.
what do you think you're seeing so far?
My name is Eugene White, head girls coach over at Richmond Heights. We've, myself, this is my 2nd year with Coach Parker, 2nd year. And then we also brought back a legend ever at Richmond, Coach Deja Winters, which is Coach Winters' daughter. And so now we have a new thing called Spartan Way. You got to be, if you want to play here, you got to play Spartan basketball. Just yesterday, we had a situation where, and this is talk about what's the Spartan Way. Our girls wasn't playing at the park. We want all them practice uniforms. You wear them old uniforms. And so we're going to change the culture. To get what you want, you have to earn it. We're very, very young, very, very talented. So it's a job of us putting it all together and getting to understand it. We have 2 seniors, Oe Audio and Aisha Robinson. And we have a host of juniors. We have 4 freshmen on varsity. 2 of them possibly can start. Every game can be a different starting lineup for us. We have a 6'2" freshman. I think she's going to be very well. She's going to be very good. We have 2 freshman point guards. We have a sophomore who's dynamic, and Maya Johnson. Then we have junior Anthony Darden and Cherry Maxwell. So we're really excited about this upcoming season. And with us being a small school, we Division IV. We really feel like that if we put it all together and everybody comes to practice hard every day and understand that things are going to come at you, they're going to come fast, they're going to come hard, that we should be able to compete. Our schedule, we don't in our conference we have to play a lot of smaller schools, but out of conference we try to play more of the bigger schools so that we can get out there and see where we're at. Because at the end of the day, everybody's doing this, I believe, for one reason, to get a free education. If and I try to tell our girls that all the time, like if you want to play basketball, you got to play it. You got to play seriously. You got to take it serious. It's just not about practice. It's what you're doing outside of practice. Just to go back what Coach is talking about with being a student athlete, that's something that we're preaching right now. That's part of our change in our culture, is making sure that we check grades every week. Because I'm a firm believer, if your grades are not up to par, then 9 times out of 10, your basketball is not going to be up to par because you can't process what's going on in the classroom. You're not going to be able to process what's going on in the basketball court. So we're really big. We're trying to build our young ladies up with that. But we're all excited just to be able to play in this event this upcoming weekend. We know we got Eastlake North. I think our goal is just to play hard. We know they're going to be a very talented team over there. But we just want to play hard, get in and out. And without no major injuries, by us being a small school, we really don't have a JV. We don't have a JV team this year. We're finally at 13 girls in our program. Last year we were at 6, so now we have 13 now. So we're growing, but we don't just want to throw a JV team out there. We want to continue to build it, and eventually starts to come. And one of the things like last year we're looking at is our middle school program. Last year our middle school program, we haven't had a middle school program in the last 6 years. We had one last year. They got to the conference championship game. This year, we just had workouts the other day. We had 13 girls in there. So it's coming, and it's coming. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for, is that you build the program correctly, because you never know what can happen. Yep. Whenever I decide to leave, I want to leave the program better than what I got it. And that's just my whole mindset.
That's a great mantra. Thank you very much, Coach. I appreciate it. I have to apologize in advance, Coach. You're going to have to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your program.
All right. Excuse me. Head coach Carlton Conwell, head coach of Lady Raider basketball, Shaker Heights High School. Sorry for the late delay. We actually just finished the scrimmage with Hawken Academy. Turned out very well, so we're excited about that. This is my year 1 at Shaker Heights, returning back to my alma mater. I've experienced on a collegiate level for a number of years. In the last few years, I've been head coach of Belmont High School in Dayton, Ohio. So this is year one back here in Raider Nation, and we're excited about where our program's going. I have a great coaching staff we put together, assistant head coach Reggie Harwell, Sheena Talley as well, Al Newell, and Micah Parker. So we're excited about where things are going with Raider Nation.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for coming on up.
Appreciate the invite.
And now we get to Coach Mason, our Brush boys basketball coach. Coach, I've been, especially on a night like tonight, I'm dying to find out. When you're here, you're one of the males. You got plenty of testosterone around you, but not quite so sure it goes that way when you go home at the end of a practice. So, what can you tell us about, the ladies and ladies athletics and how that kind of differs a little bit, or maybe there are some similarities too?
Well, first of all, I'm Chet Mason, the head Brush boys basketball coach. This will be my 8th season, going into my 8th season here. I really ain't gonna talk about my team, and I'm here to help grow the girls' game.
Sure.
I'm fully invested. I believe I got 3 to 4 girls that's living in my household that have a chance to do something really well with basketball. So, what was your question?
Well, I think it's interesting because you go from here at
Right.
work with the boys most of the
Right.
day, but by the time you turn that around and go home, you have a different audience for the most part,
Right.
And so, how you manipulate or how you work through that difference, because I'm sure they're giving you tips on what you need to be doing as a coach, right?
Right. Well, I really don't go home. My daughter's down there right now waiting so they can get worked out after,
Okay.
after we get done. We just finished practice. And my daughters, 2 of them right now is the 8th and the 7th graders. And I mean, they fully invested in basketball. They love it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I throw at them. They want to be involved. And that's a big thing because with my guys, some of the boys, you got to pull them. Like, man, it's easy. And I've been blessed enough to coach guys that's in the ACC, Big Ten, MAC, going to the ACC. And some of those you have to, hey, man, you want to work out? You want to work out? But with mine, hey, work me out. I need to get in the gym. I need to get in the gym. My 8th grader tasted some success, and so it's different for her. Like, she feel like she one of those girls nationally, and some people may think that. I mean, some people have said that and different things, but I still think she got a lot of work to do. The girls' game is totally different from the boys. I think the girls' game is a better brand of basketball, as far as. And this is my opinion. And again, I work with USA Basketball, so when we coaching our boys, our girls is in the other gym, and I go over there and watch. I just was in Colorado with them 2 weeks ago. The girls' game is more fundamental, and it's like when I played in Europe for all them years, you actually playing a great brand of basketball. On the boys' side, everything is majority relied on athletics and how athletic you are, and you got some guys that's really good. Like, they get away with it. They can make dribble moves and get to the hole and stuff. The girls are passing, cutting, reading, reacting, and I love that type of basketball. Again, I played in the European level, the highest level, for 13 years, so I was a part of that. So, and the girls' game is definitely remind me of that. And so I sit and watch girls' games, but I have to also with my daughters because they watch basketball. Sure. And so, I mean, it's just different, All these great coaches here, I give all y'all kudos for what y'all doing with these young ladies and young men, Coach Will, because there's not a lot of people that can do it. There's not a lot of people that want to do it. I mean, we do it for the love, the passion, and not for the money. Like, I don't believe, maybe Coach Burt's sitting here making $1 million, but he might be the only one. I mean, I think he one of the all-time winningest coaches in Ohio, so I think somebody cut him a check for $1 million.
That's why he's got that backpack on.
Yeah, it's Phil. He got a NIL deal. So I give y'all big kudos for what y'all doing in these young people's life. And again, coaching is not easy. Like, to be a coach, you got to really want to do it. You gotta have the passion. You can't just say I'm coaching for a stipend or a check. That don't work, you know, because you're helping to alter and change young people's lives, and you know it's big. It's big. So.
All right, if you don't mind, that was kind of a blanket question. Everybody kind of had the same one. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, not put you on the spot too much, but if we can go back down the line here, Coach, I would like to just ask you, for instance, what do you think are the core values that are essential to being a good coach?
Well, I feel like your program is only as good as your coaching staff. You know, as a head coach, we're torn all different ways, and your job's never done. If it's late night emails or texts or players needing things, it's never done. One of the good things that we're fortunate to have over in our program is a strong staff where roles are delegated, where we're able to actually watch player development through practice. And, you know, we have a director of operations who covers the academic part of our program. So, you know, it allows me as the head coach to focus more on the in-game things compared to the X's and O's so much because those roles are facilitated by our staff. And we're getting better. We're going to continue to grind at it. There's a number of different sayings that we say, team together, everyone achieves more. You know, that's TEAM, and it goes across the board from the coaching staff to the players, and we're excited about where things are headed collectively.
Okay. Coach White, you talked about this. You touched on it a little bit before, so I wanted to go a little deeper. The connection that you have to have as a coach between academics and athletics. Obviously, at the NBA level, that's not even on the table so much, and then even at the NCAA level, they have big departments with people to take care of that. But I think at all of your level, that falls on you a lot of times to make sure that things are being carried out between the academics and the athletics. What kinds of things do you do to try to make sure that those kids are doing what they need to in the classroom?
Well, one of the first thing we do, we get out of school at 2:40. All our girls are allowed about 40 minutes to get something to eat. About 3:30, they need to be in study table. Study table is completely quiet. No, cell phones, let's use them as a calculator. But as the head coach and also my assistant coaches, they help run. We all run study table. Mm-hmm. But I'm always meeting with our principal. I'm always meeting with our teachers through emails, through whatever I have to do as the head coach and as a coaching staff to make sure that our young ladies are doing the right things academically. I think one of the things as I was listening to Coach. One of the biggest things that I've been working on the most, and anybody who knows me, I'm very stubborn. And so, this past year, and a lot of my coaches have been talking about, we want to work as a team and not more as an individual. Sure. So, and that includes me also. So I have to include our coaches in different things, such as Coach says, delegating tasks and making sure our young ladies are doing the right things academically. Because we all know as head coaches, it's a lot of responsibilities that's thrown on us. For making sure kids get home, making sure kids who don't have shoes have shoes, making sure they have something to eat, making sure they have tutors. So it's a lot that's involved, and you can't do it by yourself. So I want to tell our coaches thank you, because I never say it too often, but I want them to know I do appreciate them for everything they do for our program, because I wouldn't be doing it. I can't do it by myself. And I think that's the one thing I've learned so far this year, especially when it comes to academics, when you're dealing with 13 young ladies, and I know we got a couple ladies on this staff, on this panel, but we know that, it can be very stressful sometimes because they become emotional. Sure. And so I'm glad I have two great young ladies on my coaches on my staff that can help deal with that. So when I'm pushing too hard, they'll come say, "No, Coach, you're going too hard." Academically, the same way, just as much as we're doing on the floor. So I think that academics is the most important part, because you can't go to college just to take the basketball out of it. We're setting these young ladies up for life. And I think a lot of times coaches get caught up on basketball, but it's more about life. And if you don't have the grades, where are you going to go? Yeah. That's just how I feel about academics. I think academics is the most important thing. And I think that's because I'm a teacher also. So I think this is a whole different round. I have a different look at it than some of the other coaches might have.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach. Coaches Smith and Sampson, tell me a little bit about, you get into a situation, and this can be a very long season. You guys start early with the practices, go through the winter. Winters are not easy here in Northeast Ohio, right? So it's a long season. When your teams in the past have hit a little bit of a rough spot, maybe they're struggling a little bit, lost a couple games, maybe a couple close ones, what do you do to keep the mentality, the momentum up and the morale up when they are going through a struggling period?
Well, we've had a lot of work with that the past few years. With our rebuilding, we've had a lot of days like that. But what we do, we draw closer together. We try to draw closer together. We bring positives, even in losses. And like Coach here said, a lot of things can be taught as life lessons. And that's the biggest thing, because we're all in this. When one lose, we all lose. Okay, if there's a streak, and I'm so proud of these girls in my program, especially because during a rebuild, any rebuild is not easy. It is not easy. You're going to take your lumps and bruises, but these girls have taken their lumps and bruises, and it sort of make them work harder. And that's my staple for these girls. I think that's what's going to make the difference from last season to this upcoming season, because we've been down that road. You know, understand what I mean? We don't like it. So yes. To answer your question, I think we pull together for the most part. Okay. Add little activities, maybe even step away from it for a little bit. You know, just to rest the mind, just to rest the bodies. And just pull together. We're in this thing together, and like you said, it's a long season, very long season.
Definitely.
Coach, you have anything you want to add on?
I just want to say, in moments of adversity, I think it's important for us as coaches to stay positive. Because once the kids see you fall down, put your head, you know what? They have a tendency to draw right with you. So we have to stay encouraged. My name is Greg Sampson anyway. This is actually my first year coming to the coaching staff. I coached back in the late 90s, like 98, 99, through 2006 or so prior. And this is my first year on with Coach Smith here. But like I said, we have to stay positive. Even before I started coaching with him, I used to go to all the games. I'm just a fan. I have kids that was in the system, grandkids in the system. So, and I would encourage him after the game, say, hey, man, 2 years ago you would have been smoked. Hey, you still was in the game. You know what I mean? We still here in the game, so, hey, take that as a win. You know what I mean? You have to find something to stay positive to keep yourself going, because if you get down, like I said, kids going right with you, right. And they looking for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well said. Coach Donaldson,
yes, sir.
Let me put you on the spot a little bit. What is it about coaching that draws you, that just feeds your soul, so to speak? There must be, like we talked about, a lot of times it's not the money and it's not the glamour, it's not not at this
Absolutely.
level. So what is it that feeds your soul with coaching?
Well, we all know here it's definitely not about the money, because we're doing this for the love of the game, right? For me, I'm a developer. I take joy in getting a kid that's not that strong with their left hand, or they can't shoot, helping them with their shooting form, and they turn into a great player, or they get that confidence. Because confidence is everything. Like, sports is a tool to help you in life, right? So when you leave out to go to college, you walk around with your head up. You understand the importance of hard work, dedication, what it allows you to become and do. So just kind of instilling that in them, and I want to make sure I shout out the players. They kind of send me text messages and stuff. Diogene, we got Sienna, we got Isis, who decided to play basketball, a freshman who didn't have the confidence to play. Over the last 2 weeks, she's had so much development, and just seeing that smile on her face and have that confidence, and she's believing in herself now, it's something that you really can't pay for, and that's what it's about. It's about developing young ladies, getting them prepared for the world, and they have high self-esteem, and they have that mental toughness. And so don't make me forget, I got I said Isis, I said Diogene, who is our best player, who getting her to get on board. Like, that's a challenge too. Getting them to buy into your system. We had a little back and forth, but we kind of got on the same page when she understood that I was trying to help her and not hurt her. So those things are important. Sienna, just coming to practice with a good positive attitude and having good body language, all those things there. We got Jayla Wiggins, who's fresh out of the 8th grade, who is pretty much our leader right now. And that's something that you just can't, that's just instilled in you. So just having 8th graders that are coming in working hard every day, Coco, Anaya coming over from volleyball, like they're really like buying in, being dedicated to the sport. Nyla, who's another 8th grader who's super talented. So just getting them to buy in and just understand that I'm here for you. Like, I genuinely care for you. And when they understand that, that's when they'll do anything for you.
Okay. Thanks, great answer. Coach Brandon, I think this goes, whether it's the women's game or the men's game, how do you handle a situation where parents might come up to you after a game, I don't know, at some point in the season, and think that their son or daughter might be deserving of more, playing time? That's something I'm sure all of you have gotten at one point or another. How do you handle that, to do that diplomatically, yet also not lose that child as a possible player for you?
Right. I mean, it's definitely happened numerous times before. I'm sure it happened with all of us. But my whole thing is never approach a coach or a parent directly after a game, especially if it's a loss, because neither person is going to be in the right state of mind. You got other things on your mind that will make you say things that you probably really didn't want to say, or you got so many different emotions going. So, but my policy is, I have an open door policy with any parent, any player. I rather always talk face to face. I never like to talk through email, text messages, or anything like that, because we all know a text message or an email could sound like one thing, but I didn't mean it that way. So I would rather just be face to face. Let's talk it out and be truthful. That's the biggest thing you got to be with parents about their child. Don't sugarcoat anything. If you think that this kid needs to work on something that they really need to work on, and this is why they're not playing, say that. So then that way the parent and you and the child, we're all on the same page, and there's no hidden messages or, you said this and you said that, and, just say what you mean. And I mean, I know I've hurt kids' feelings. I know I've hurt parents' feelings, but we don't do it on purpose. I hope that parents really know that, like, we're not out to hurt your kids' feelings, but we also want to be real with your kid, because basketball, it prepares you for life. And once you're out of here, I mean, it's going to be some other things, some other disappointments you're going to get that's what's going to hit way harder than this. So I think the best thing you can do is just be real with the parent, be real with the kid.
Okay.
Yep.
Coach Winters, tough question here, because your passion and your expertise on the court are so apparent. If for some reason you couldn't coach ladies basketball, or let's just say basketball at all, and you couldn't coach, what would you do and why? What else would you want to do in this world?
Rick, I'm supposed to be
There's
the
no
home.
wrong answer.
I'm supposed to be the home team, man. I'm at Brush, man. I'm not the opponent. Nah.
I didn't want to give you all layups.
It's a good question. I would for work. What would I do for work?
Yeah.
Well, I can't. I guess that's sort of easy. So I'm a youth development specialist here in our district right now, right? So I work with the children and not the children, but the young kids, teenagers from K through 12, right? In so many different ways, right? So I enjoy that. I guess I'll be doing that. I enjoy that. I enjoy doing a lot of different things, right? So I enjoy changing lives. I'm sure people can see that in me, whether it's the simplest thing from picking somebody up or having someone picked up by another player for practice, all the way up to trying to get a Division I scholarship, sitting down with some of these top coaches and really so-called selling my kids, selling this player to you know what I'm saying, selling the skill set to you to sign this deal for them and get their what we call their bag, right? So I do a lot of different things. I right now I'm in the real estate. I'm in the.
This is Mr. Joe, Surgeon Principal. I just want to thank all of our parents for showing up tonight and investing in your students. Teachers, thank you.
Okay,
So I do a lot of different things, right? So I own real estate. I'm a licensed inspector, home inspector. I do a lot of different things that I would enjoy doing. So it's not just one thing, but mostly for me, I enjoy my children. I enjoy my kids a lot. So of course, people know my daughter Deja. I enjoy being in the gym with her. I enjoy being in the just talking to her, just teaching her about life and her journey from Seton Hall, the University of Minnesota, to the Las Vegas Aces, all those different things. I was with her right along the way. We were in Vegas together for a month. For a couple weeks, and kind of working out down there, and that was a good experience. My son, people around here see us in the gym, working. He was on the state championship team last year at Richmond Heights. He's a sophomore now. He's getting a lot of looks. So, and not only the basketball court, I enjoy just being with them. My daughter, who doesn't even play basketball, I have a 23-year-old daughter who goes to Kent State. She's a junior at Kent State. We'll go down there, go to a football game, go put air in her tires, sit down, talk to one another. It's just all about being a good person for me. And also I have a younger daughter, 1.5 years old. I enjoy her as well. So I just think that's why I do this. That's why I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting back down at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, because I want to provide for them as well as I love coaching. So I can't say one thing that I would be doing, but if I could, if I could retire, I would just be with my children all the time.
Good answer. Good answer. Coach, how about giving us a most memorable or favorite moment as a coach? And it doesn't have to necessarily be any a win, because coaching, obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can touch lives. What was your favorite moment as a coach?
My favorite moment as a coach, which it started as a hurtful moment, 2015 state championship. Most of you guys know about the call. My team was beaten on a technical foul call for a player hanging on the rim on the dunk, which he was on the rim for less than 1 second. Big story on ESPN and everything. And that particular player, the state of his family, he had a lot riding on basketball. And, this moment that was an absolute tragedy, a lot of tears, a lot of heartbreak, turned into a beautiful thing. Like I said, it aired on ESPN for about a month. And you're talking about a guy who went from 7 college offers to somewhere around 23. This kid ended up picking up an offer that suited him. He went on to score 1,000 points in college. He's now a professional basketball player. And that probably was career defining for me, because we did everything the right way. We did what we were supposed to do to earn a championship. And like we've all been stating, basketball is a microcosm of life. Life isn't fair. And that lesson being taught to these kids, coupled with everything we gave them throughout the season, teaching them to be tough, teaching them how to handle adversity, a lot of people would have fell apart there. A lot of people would have hung it up, quit, gave up. Just, these kids in my particular school, they don't come from much. Our slogan was always, we're all we have and we're all we need. And to watch him go from this kid from not the best circumstances to the young man he is now was like a beautiful thing. So it's a continual great moment for me.
That's a great story. Coach Force, along that line a little bit, what's your take on, do your teams learn more in periods of adversity, the valley moments, or do they learn more on the mountaintop moments? What do you think?
I think adversity teaches us more about ourselves and about our company and our families. And you have to embrace adversity. You certainly can't run fast enough to get away from it. Adversity is going to hit in life. It's going to hit throughout a season. It gives you an opportunity to, reveals your character in one way, but also it helps you to develop that character. And I'm big on the word embracing over accepting. We don't want to accept our role on the team. We want to embrace our role, and we want to look to grow within that role. And same thing with adversity. We talk about it before it happens. We try to talk about embracing those moments. And I think Coach down there mentioned, coming closer together in adversity. Because at the end of the day, as a person and a coach and a basketball player, where you end up is not very important. But the people that are there next to you, in that house or in that locker room, that's what's important. To me, it's all about relationships and shared experiences. So we try to keep that at the forefront of what we talk about.
Okay, Coach Spivey, your philosophy. If you can tell us a little bit about your philosophy as a leader, and have you been inspired by anybody, either locally or maybe even nationally? for that role? What do you put into that leadership role?
My philosophy with leadership is that, one thing is that I'm always willing to learn. So being a young head coach, I've always looked to my elders for advice. And I think I have a legend that is not too far away from me. My mother, Edith Spivey, and I think my philosophy leans more towards hers, that you are, we build the character of the individual as we build the player. So I spend a lot of time just, kind of having conversations with her and really picking her brain about her 27 years of experience in a program where it was very successful. As I grow, I believe my philosophy will grow. It would change a little bit with the times because, the 80s and 90s and early 2000s are different from now. But I do have the love and the passion that she has for these young ladies to see them grow, to see them leave the inner city and experience something brand new.
Okay. Coaches from Firestone, I have a question for you. What do you do to try to keep up with, and you had just mentioned, Coach Spivey, times change, decades change, not only the players, but even the game itself. What do you feel that you do to keep up tactically and strategy-wise to keep up with the game? Because as we all know, players look at the game a little bit differently 25 years ago as opposed to maybe today.
Mm-hmm. Just like his coach said, you have to be a student of the game. You can't go off of the way we used to coach or the way we used to play. Like, I came in early with Mel. So, that style of basketball back then is definitely not the same style now. We can't coach the same way. Well, we still do in some phases. I'm still kind of old school, but the teaching has to be different as well. So also with that being said, is we have to be students of the students that we coach. These kids are on some different things now. Their focus is different. Their talk is different. Their thoughts is different. And so we have to stay up on that as coaches because the communication has to change. The way I communicated in '99 is not the same way I'm communicating in 2022. And there's things that I say now that I kind of get from their genre, their conversation, the way they talk. I have to go to the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram mentality to speak to some of these kids because the way I talk, they don't understand that. You know what I mean? So I have to come, in that kind of, I have to talk in that kind of genre to get them to understand clearly what I'm saying. And sometimes, I have to use those techniques to get my point across, which the techniques that I used back in the day, they don't work, because the kids take it personal these days. Some of y'all know about that. So I just kind of, as a whole, every day I'm trying to learn. I have kids, all my kids are grown now, I have grandkids now, so I'm trying to listen to the music. I'm trying to watch what they watch. It's a YouTube generation now, so everything is on video. They trying to learn the game from sports clips that are on YouTube. So, and then the communication involved in that is also on there. So I just try to take that whole piece and use that with my old school mentality to try to teach these kids. So I'm an everyday learner as far as that is concerned.
Okay. Coach Burke, in your many illustrious years of coaching, you have probably had a player or two who you really liked, but no matter what, it just didn't seem like his game was improving, and try as hard as he might, he just wasn't getting to that next level. What do you do to stick with a young man or a young lady like that who obviously has the heart, but maybe not the natural talent? What do you do to kind of lead them along and keep them at the chase?
Well, to answer that question directly, I was a walk-on in college. So I do feel that everybody can't be Chet Mason, handle the ball, pass the ball, dunk the ball, score the ball. So I try to target the young ladies that I've been successful with. I try to target one area at a time. So if I see a young lady, like I said, fast feet, can stay low, kind of tough, that's a defender. You might get a young lady who can shoot it but can't handle it, and that's where the individual skill sets come in. So to answer your question, I kind of like to target the areas, because even in our practices, we don't go up and down first. Every day is heavy stretching, because I'm fearful of injuries. So so we stretch a lot, and after we stretch, that's where before we even play is technique, skill building, and things of that nature. I've been around 32 years, so we still do the old school stations. You know, I got free throw shooting here, defense over here, passing, and we still do that daily because, like you just said, you may have a great player, but in this day and age with the scouting and the videos, you can't be stopped. So, in short, I keep the old school values. I just teach them differently to the whole team, because, like I said, you got to be well-rounded.
Okay.
You got to be well-rounded.
Thanks. Great answer.
All right.
Coach Bradley, if you could give me 3 descriptive words, 3 adjectives that you think a coach needs to have to be successful, what would those 3 be?
Those 3 words would be understanding. And what I mean by that is the style of basketball has changed. The girls have changed. You had different situations that may arise. You know, you try to be understanding of things that go on with the girls personally at home, in school. Try to get on their level to just understand what's going on with them and just kind of take them in. The other word I would say is coachable. The girls have to be coachable. I'm very hard. I'm very, very hard on the girls, very disciplined. I come from disciplined programs from high school, college, professional, very disciplined. And you have to be coachable. You have to be able to listen. You have to have tough skin. My thing is that I will discipline you, get on you, but at the same time, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to make sure that you understand what I'm asking for, but then I'm going to come back and encourage you that, hey, you could get it done, but you're not doing this. The third word would be, I don't have a third word.
That's okay. 2 is just fine. 2 is just fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I could sit here and listen to y'all like all night long, but I know that you have personal lives and things to get back to. I think I'm going to cut it off here, but I do want to thank you again for being here. I think Saturday's even more exciting for me now, because now I know a little bit more about each of you, and it's not just 2 coaches on the sideline. I know a little bit about you personally, and so thank you for sharing and being open. And I just wish all of you great luck, not only Saturday, but also throughout the whole coming season. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.